الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان سيدنا وحبيبنا ومعلمنا محمدا عبده ورسوله ادى الامانه وبلغ الرساله ونصح الامه وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى اتاه اليقين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على هذا النبي الامين وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين ومن تبعهم باحسان الى يوم الدين. اللهم اجمعنا واياهم في جنه الفردوس اللهم امين. اما بعد فان خير الكلام كلام الله وان خير الهدي هدي محمد رسول الله وان شر الامور محدثاتها وكل محدثه بدعه وكل بدعه ضلاله وكل ضلاله في النار. اللهم اجرنا من النار. الحمد, again, alhamd, which means to be grateful and praiseful and thankful. Alhamd belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We thank Him and we praise Him and we seek Allah's protection from the evil that resides within the inner soul. And we seek Allah's protection from the consequences of our own bad deeds. Verily, He who Allah guides will never be misguided. And He who Allah leaves astray will never find a friend or an ally to bring him or her back to the straight path of as-sirat al-mustaqim. I bear witness that there are no deities worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah, a man who struggled throughout his life to deliver the message of Islam until the day he died. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless him, honor him, reward him, alongside with his family and his companions. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to join us together with them in the highest paradise of Firdaus. Allahumma ameen. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam always reminded that the best words are the words of Allah, which is the Quran. And the best guidance to follow is that which was given to the Prophet Muhammad, which is his sunnah. And the worst evil things are innovations in the deen, for every innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance belongs to hellfire. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save us from hellfire. أما بعد يا مسلم فننظر اليوم في ظاهر الأعمال وباطنها. Today inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala we look at ظاهر is the appearance, the outside, and batin is what's inside. And we start with the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, hadith Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, يقول إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا أجسادكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your appearance or your bodies, but Allah looks inside your hearts. Because what's inside the heart is what matters. Abu ثوبان خادم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم is telling us one story. يعني one hadith is very important. Let's read the hadith together. It says, لَأَعْلَمَنَّ أَقْوَامًا مِنْ أُمَّتِي. I know about a group of people, or أقوام, many groups. You know, the word قوم is singular, أقوام, from my ummah. He's speaking to whom? To Sahaba. Imagine, Thawban is telling us this story, and the Prophet ﷺ is speaking to his companion, the Sahaba, the best generation ever. He's telling them, these أقوام, these people, they're from my ummah. They look like you. They pray like you. Let's read the sigha of the hadith. It says, يأتون الأقوام يأتون بحسنات أمثال جبال تهامة. It says in يوم القيامة, these people are going to bring hasanat, huge giant hasanat. These hasanat are going to look like the mountains of Tuhama, like nice, big, white, snow-covered, beautiful mountains. And many other hadith, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam speaks about hasanat like the mountain of Uhud. So he's comparing the amount of hasanat with something giant, something huge. And he says they're going to bring this hasanat. And after they bring this hasanat, Allah is going to take all the hasanat and they're going to become just like dust. You all understand? هَبَاءً مَنْصُورًا. It's nothing. Basically just dust. And the Sahaba, they ask him, Ya Rasulullah, tell us who are these people so we will avoid to be like them. صفهم لنا يا رسول الله حتى لا نكون منهم. We don't want to be amongst these people. Who are these people? All their hasanat, blown dust. Nothing. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إنهم منكم ومن بني جلدتكم. They are from you amongst the Muslims. And they are people of your skin, يعني from your kinship. يصلون كما تصلون. They pray just like you. ويأخذون من الليل كما تأخذون. And they stand up in qiyam, in al-layl, at night, just like you do. Where is the problem? ولكن عندما يختلون بحرمات الله ينتهكونها. He says, but when they go in seclusion, nobody's watching, they violate, they commit guna, they commit haram, they have no problem committing the haram. I'm standing in front of you giving you khutbah. SubhanAllah. Right? You look at, oh, who is brother Younis? Oh, mashallah, you give khutbah. But when I go by myself, nobody's watching, no cameras, brothers is recording me, no Sheikh so-and-so, no my friend, nobody's watching. I'm only by myself. What do I do in my personal life? That's when Allah yanzuru ila qulubikum. Not mazhar, not outside. Look at me outside, nice stuff, I have a beard, and I talk here like you think, oh, this guy must be a good Muslim. You don't have no idea. Wallahi, you have no idea. Because subhanAllah, when I go by myself, I might be doing something haram, you do not know. But those who have iman, they know Allah is watching. And those who don't have iman, they know that people are watching. That's the reality. Allah ya Muslim. Al-amana ya Muslim. Amanat, or to be trusted with something. We look at our deen is a trust that Allah has given us. So when we have a contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is how do I deliver it? And the definition of al-Islam, we call it ad-deen. Ad-deen or diyanat in some languages. They say that deen in the Arabic language comes from to be in loan with somebody. If we say that someone has a loan, we say fulanun alayhi dayn. This is my loan. So it's something that you owe. And this life and this deen of Islam is what we owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how are we making the payments back? Are we making the payments with ikhlas and sincerity from the heart? Or we're just making the payments just to look like Muslims? Just the appearance. Mazhar. Al-Zahir and Al-Batin. Two different things. Listen to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when we speak about the amanat of as-salat, the trust of namaz. What is he telling us? This is hadith again. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that one man was praying. They were talking in the masjid. And one man came in, he started praying. Then the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he looks at him and he says, لو مات هذا الرجل لمات على غير ملة محمد. بمعنى, he says, if this man dies, if the maut comes to him, he's not going to be on the millat of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Millat is what? Is the deen, the lifestyle and the tradition. Yani everything that belongs to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This man is not from me. Ya Rasulullah, this man prays in your masjid. Masjid Rasulullah. He's not. If he dies right now, he's not going to be from my millat. Why? He says, look at him. ينقر كما ينقر الغراب. الغراب is that bird, black bird. We call it a crow in English. It's a black bird. He said, look at the bird. When he's pecking in the ground, he goes like this, pak, 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 like this quickly. He says, that's the namaz of that guy. When he goes sujood, tak, 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 and then he runs to his life. Quickly, namaz. Is this namaz that she go? One time I saw this brother, he goes like this, he touched the ground, come on. I said, what is subhanallah, subhanallah, just 3 times. Yani, so fast. And Rasulullah sallallahu he says, if this man dies, he's not going to be from the millat of Muhammad. So when I found myself doing that. I found myself going fast, especially when I'm praying at home. So I timed myself. I said that last time. I put a stopwatch and I see how long it takes me to pray namaz asr for rak'ah. It took me 1 minute 38 seconds. 1 minute 38 seconds. If my brother sends me a YouTube video or WhatsApp video, I'll be there 5 minutes watching nothing. Look at something, doesn't make no sense. But Allah, I only have for him 1 minute 38 seconds. So let's see how the Prophet ﷺ, I'm going to talk about azkar also. When we finish namaz, I find brothers, they go like this. They go. Have you ever seen people do like this? Quickly, fast, just quickly. What? I mean, Hadith Abu Hurairah, if I'm not mistaken, says that when the Prophet ﷺ make tasbih, you would think that he's spelling each word. He's taking time, subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. What kind of tasbih is this? I just want to get a check mark. Oh, I did my tasbih, I gotta go. I met one sister, she was Jewish. May Allah give her a long life, she's still alive. She became a Muslim. She was Jewish. Her name herself Safiya. Very good reason why. And this woman, she used to tell me, wallah, she would put in one night 120 rakah. 120 rakah. She does not know Quran. I used to teach her how to read Quran. Sister, how do you pray 120 rakah? I know Qul huwallahu ahad. I know Hamd Sharif, Fatiha, and Qul huwallahu ahad. 120 rakah a night. And tasbih, she says, sometimes I put 100,000 subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. I don't sleep at night. I was speechless. You go learn, have PhD in Sharia and memorize Quran and everything, but if you have Iman, you don't have Iman, it becomes worthless. So let's go now to the next hadith. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says about a man, he came to the masjid and he did his namaz, and he finished, he went to say salam to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said, go back and do your namaz again. Okay. And he went and he did his namaz again. And he came back. اذهب فصلي, go do salat again. Second time. Third time, he told him, Ya Rasulullah, وَالَّذِي بَعَثَكَ بِالْحَقِّ لَا أَعْلَمُ غَيْرَهُ. By the one who sent you with the truth, he swore by Allah, I don't know how to pray better than this. That's all I know. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا قمت للصلاة فكبر. Stand up in salah, you make your takbir, right? فقرأ ما معك من القرآن. Read whatever you know from the Quran. It's not asking you to be hafiz the Quran. Just read what you know. وإذا ركعت فاطمئن في ركوعك. You know the word اطمئنان or طمأنينة is tranquility. الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله. And اطمئنان is when the heart is quiet and calm. He says when you make your ruku', try to find calmness. There is no اطمئنان. سبحان ربي سبحان ربي سبحان ربي سمع الله وحمده. سبحان ربي. What kind of اطمئنان is this? There is no tranquility in the heart. It says find tranquility. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. الصحابة they narrate this, you know, سبوح قدوس رب الملائكة والروح. And in ruku' you can ask for istighfar also. It says سبحان ربي العظيم ربي اغفر لي. So they take time. وإذا قمت فاطمئن في قيامك. Just when you stand up and be quiet and calm. And then when you make sajda, it's the same thing. That's how we pray. The namaz that is supposed to make you calm, tranquil, and at peace. But the kids, I see this with the kids. They, especially in Taraweeh, they be playing in the back, but when they see the imam is gonna go for ruku', they come run. So I catch one rak'ah. I only listen to half Quran, but I catch one rak'ah. Are you playing games here? That's for the kids, not for you guys. I'm just saying. قال فافعل ذلك في صلاتك كلها. In all your namaz, that's what you should do. Just be calm. So how I did it with myself, to be honest, I'll be honest with you. So when I go say that, you're supposed to say only 3 times Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, right? I say it 7 times. So I catch myself. By the 4th one, 5th one, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim wa bihamdihi, I find, okay, well, I'm going to be all the way to 7, so let me just stay here for a minute. You make yourself reach that level of being calm, tranquility, al-tuma'nina. Al-amanatu ya Muslim. And Ishaq bin Abdullah, he narrates a hadith, beautiful hadith about sadaqah, about khairat. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to talk about the ikhlas in sadaqah. Brother Isam from Helping Hands, he comes here to collect donations and fundraising. These days they're helping people in Mexico. They had fires in Mexico. The fires in California, they have the same thing in Mexico. People lost their homes over there. There is no insurance. So a lot of Muslim community, I think he told me about 5 TV stations came to film that the Muslim community is helping the Mexican, poor people. It was a beautiful event. A lot of Muslim Mexicans, and so he goes there, and I went with him to his office, And we were gathering donations to send to Bangladesh for the Rohingya Muslim. You heard about Myanmar or Burma? Yeah. So they were filling a whole container with clothing, with shoes, and sending them over there. And subhanAllah, this sister, she brought her kids. And there's other old lady sisters, Sister Khalila, Allah give her a long life. She came as a volunteer, just helping for the sake of Allah. And these sisters, they take the clothes, if they're not new, they wash them, they iron them, and they put fragrance on them, and they put them in a nice box, and this is donation for fi sabilillah. Shoes almost new, but ya subhanallah, other people, they bring their trash and they dump it in there. Okay, send this khairat to poor Muslims. We open and see one pair of shoes, the other pair is on the other side, only left or right, and then the clothes are smelly, old or dirty. And then we found food containers that are open, half the food eaten, and then they close. Okay, give this khairat. Is this the sadaqah you want to send? Used food that's gonna rot in the way there. And not only that, did you hear about Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha when she said, before I put khairat or sadaqah in the hand of the poor, I put it in the hand of Allah. Is this what you want to put in the hand of Allah? So you're Muslim, if you have ikhlas in your khairat, in your charity, in your sadaqah, give from the heart. And give something nice. And make it look nice. Show someone that you care about them. But there is another level. يقول ربنا سبحانه وتعالى قل لا تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. You should not reach dutifulness towards Allah. You can never pay back Allah the right way unless you spend from that which you love the most. And this story from Ishaq bin Abdullah, he says that Abu Talha, one of the Sahaba of Medina, Ansar, he said he was in Medina and living. He was a man of wealth. And he had several gardens. You know mazra'a. They have several mazra'a, small ones. But he had one mazra'a in front of Masjid al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In front of the masjid. It's mazra'a with palm trees and fruits, vegetables. Beautiful. And he had a name, he called it al-Buwayha. Small garden. And he loved it. His favorite garden. Favorite one. He goes there, chill. Nice weather. And Nabina sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he loved to go there. He has water, so he used to drink from the water, make wuzu from the water. Special place. And one day, he was praying behind Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he was reciting, قُلْ لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You shall never reach dutifulness towards Allah until you spend from that which you love the most. When you give sadaqah, don't give old clothes. Why don't you give new clothes? We're not supposed to be giving leftovers. This Sahabi, Abu Talha, he went to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, my favorite that I love, this much is this garden right here. And I want you, Ya Rasulullah, you decide which sadaqah you want to give it. Just like this. Why? Because I heard you say, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. And I love this garden the most, I want to give it sadaqah. Ya Rasulullah, you decide. You decide how you want to give this sadaqah. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, spread it and you give it to your family member. A cousin, the son of Ibn Khala, Ibn Amma, all this. He said, he give it to his own family and his friends. He said, give this sadaqah to the closest one. They all share this garden and the fruits from this garden. So this sincerity, this ikhlas of this sadaqah, look, Abu Talha died a long time ago. Over 1400 years ago. He passed away. But 2019 or 1441, we are talking about him in this hadith. You and I remember him with what? Because he was tall, handsome? Because he gave that sadaqah from the heart. From that which he loved, ya Muslim. Brother Younis, this is Sahaba time. We live in reality nowadays. Don't compare me with Sahaba, so this is different times. Have you heard this before? You heard this before. So you tell someone, be a good Muslim, they tell, Asatir al-Awwalin. You tell us stories from there. We have this reality, we have this, we have that. I tell you, no. The deen of Allah did not change. The way the world revolves did not change. The sun still rises from the east and sets in the west. Nothing changed. What changed is our values and how we look at the dunya, how we wish for the akhirah, and how we have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or lack thereof. A few years ago, so how is one businessman in somewhere in Sham. He was, mashallah, Allah opened up for him. And there is nothing wrong with having money in Islam. It's not a problem as long as you earn it halal and you spend it halal. This man who lived in a Muslim country, he got sick. عادي, and it's very normal insan to become sick. So he heard hadith, داووا مرضاكم بالصدقات. You know, shifa, bring shifa or dawa or healing to your sick people with what? With sadaqah. Yeah, if you know someone in your family that is sick or something, give sadaqah with the niyat, with the intention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them shifa. Hopefully. But this man, he says, Wallah, I want to make sadaqah. So he called one architect. He told him, look for a piece of land. I want to buy it so I can build masjid there, inshallah. No problem. Who started traveling, look, he found a nice lot. Who owns this? I told him, so-and-so. Let's call him, Abdullah. Bring Abdullah here. How are you, Abdullah? He says, I am not a rich man. Abdullah is a poor man who had 8 children. And his salary was about 4,000 lira. 4,000 lira في الشام يعني not much. 4,000 lira في الشام. Nothing. 8 أولاد. ولكن this piece of land, he had it as miras. You know miras? He has inherited it from his uncle or a father, somebody. He inherited this piece of land. Alhamdulillah, it's a piece of land. How much is it? 2.5 million. 2.5 million. If he sells this land, his situation and the situation of his 8 kids is going to be much better. He says, I want 2.5 million. He says, no problem, we're going to call the Haji, is going to come and do. So they showed up, they met. He says, okay, how much you want? He says, 2.5 million. Okay, no problem. Okay, he pulled a check and he wrote him 2 million. And he gave him the check. The guy's like, I said 2.5, not 2. He says, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. I give you 2.5 now. You know what tanazul? When we go to the administration, you know awqaf Younis Islami, you know the one that are mas'ul or masajid, right? He says, when we go to awqaf, to the administration of the masajid, you and I you're gonna sign this land to the awqaf, not to me. You're gonna give it to awqaf, not to me, it's not my land. He says, why awqaf? You know, waqf is endowments. Yani this masjid does not belong to nobody. This is a waqf fi sabilillah. You see, Quran, sometimes they say waqfun lil masjid, meaning that this belongs to the masjid, that belongs to all Muslims, nobody can have it. He says, why awqaf? He says, because this land, we're going to give it to awqaf to build the masjid. He says, what? Build the masjid? He put that check and he cut it. He says, I give this land for the sake of Allah. I need this ajr more than you. He gave that land for free. No 2 million, no 2 million. As soon as he heard that this is going to be masjid, he didn't want no payments. And this is a poor man. This is real ikhlas when it comes to sadaqah. A few years ago, not too long ago. So you're Muslim. Everything we do, we have to think about something. Where is our sincerity in what we do? Am I giving khutbah here just for you to become famous and oh, brother Younis? Am I making namaz, tarawih just because of people look at me? Am I giving sadaqah for, hey, look at me, I'm giving sadaqah. Look at me, everybody, look at me, I'm helping. Yani, what am I doing this for? Do I'm doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Nabi Muhammad told us in one hadith, I'm going to give you a small part of the hadith. He said, someone comes to Allah, he says, Ya Rabbi, I give a lot of sadaqah fi sabilillah. He says, no. You did not give sadaqah fi sabilillah. You give sadaqah so people call you generous, kareem. And people already call you generous. Now, you have nothing to ask for in Yawm al-Qiyamah. Your reward, you got it in the dunya. You wanted people attention, guess what? You got it. Here, I'm sorry. It was not sincerity. And he's saying about someone who memorized Quran. He says, I read the Quran and I teach the Quran. He says, no, you recite it so that people call you Qari. You did not recite for the sake of Allah. And people already call you Qari. And look at you now. And he said something about Mujahid. He says, I went jihad fi sabilillah. He says, no, you went jihad so people call you Jasur, or like Shuja', brave. And people already call you Jasur. Now we have nothing. So ya Muslim, let us pay that attention to those intentions. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله ولكم. When we come back, inshallah, we'll talk about al-amanatu fi ad-du'a, inshallah. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين ونصلي ونسلم على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. الأمانة. نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم, all his enemies, عدو, enemies of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, all of them, they never said he's not Amin. He was الصادق الأمين. الصادق الأمين. His amanat is at this level, even his enemies. So amanat, when we do, whether with people or with Allah or with ourselves, is very crucial. And listen, ya Muslim, to the following. In a'mal or amal al-dunya, I'm not talking about amal al-akhirah, just work in general. I'm not going to give you, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us in a hadith, رحم الله عبدا عمل عملا فأتقنه. Allah's mercy be with the one who does some work and he does it to perfection. أتقنه فعل comes from itqan, from the word tiqaniyah. Tiqaniyah is technique. Yani the West, they borrowed the word technology from the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Technology, yani the technique, the knowledge of technique. And we're in Islam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said أتقنه. Yani tiqaniyah, we the Muslims are supposed to be perfectionists when it comes to work. ربنا سبحانه وتعالى says قل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملا ورسوله والمؤمنون. Allah tells us work, do, act. Allah is watching your actions. The Prophet ﷺ is watching, and الذين آمنوا are also watching. So amal, and he tells us in another hadith, al-amalu ibadah. Working is an act of worship. An able-bodied Muslim is not supposed to be collecting wealth. He's not supposed to be living on somebody else's dime. He's supposed to be working and producing. If you have health problems, that's another story. But an able body cannot go and cheat and go like collect. Al-amalu ibadah. That's two words, Nabi Sallallahu says. Your work is an act of worship. While you are working to earn halal and feed your family, you are worshipping Allah. You are acting in ibadah. So check this out. One time I'm sitting in a table. One father and his son. Right? And I'm the third one sitting there. We're just having dinner. So the father asks his son, look at the amanat, is the sincerity of work. The father asks his son, did you get that phone? He says, no, I'm going to get an iPhone, whatever number, the newest one. He told him, you cannot afford it. He says, no, Dad, I'm just going to order it from Amazon and I'm going to claim I never received it. So the phone's going to get to me, I put it in my pocket, I'm going to call Amazon, oh, I never got the phone. So they pay me my money back and I got a free phone. The dad stood up, he says, that is not right. Why not? He says, that's not honest. I didn't raise you to be like this and stealing like that. You should be honest. The son, in front of me, why? He looked at him and said, Dad, how many times you called in your job, you called in sick, and you were not sick, and you took vacation, you went back home and stayed at the beach in your nice house? How many times you called your job and told them you are at the hospital and you were not at the hospital? That's not stealing? You are the last one to teach me about morality. In the Arabs, they say, the one who does not own something cannot give it to you. If I don't have food, I cannot give you food. Very easy. So look at the lack of amanat in this guy's work. Look how his child came out. His child has no problem stealing. And I met last year with that child, the night before Ramadan, and I wanted to tell him Ramadan Mubarak. He told me, oh, it's tomorrow, and he had a beer in his hand. He was drinking sharab the night of Ramadan, but we go and do Tarawih. You want to go on vacation on the dime of your job, of your boss? Well, you're going to collect it in your child's behavior and akhlaq, and most importantly, his deen is all gone. So a Muslim, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that working honestly and doing your perfect job, because you're not working for your boss, you're working for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the consequences and the ramification will be much greater than yourself. Rahamakumullah. Allah's amana fi du'a. And I know I'm going closer to going over my time. Amanat, or sincerity in asking Allah. How many times? How many times, ya Muslim, we make dua in this masjid? Many of you, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. But I've seen this with my own eyes. Do I see after the night? Okay. Or two brothers talking to each other going like this. What are you doing? Okay, we have lunch together? Okay. Okay. Ameen, Ameen. You don't even mean it. Why would you something that you don't mean in your heart? You just want to participate. Dua is not with the hands. Dua is with the heart, with the qalb. There is actually a narration of the Prophet ﷺ that he did not go like this. One time, remember, he went like this, Ya Rabbi, like this. And many other times, when he made dua, Sahaba did not do this, they have their hands down. It's possible. Nabi Sallallahu when he made dua in Mimbar, in Khutbah, he went like this. Ya Allah, he asking Allah like this, and the Sahaba answering. But it was not always like you have to go like this, or like this, or like that. It doesn't matter how you do it from here. The sincerity and ikhlas of Al-Jumu'ah itself. If you had a doctor's appointment, you get there 45 minutes before, so you fill the forms. But when you have namaz appointment, I shouldn't say because the brothers are coming in now, just don't embarrass nobody. So we're talking about something else. Let's go back to amana to dua. Amana to dua, ya Muslim, the sincerity in your dua. I'm going to tell you this story again. I don't know if you guys remember. It's a true story, happened to me. I was in Masjid al-Ribat. Sheikh Muhammad Jilani told me there is one brother come from Saudi Arabia. He wants to learn some English. And I said, can you help him? I said, no problem. So we went upstairs to the maktaba, to the library. And I sat down. He was like 37, 38 years old. He was older, he was not young. But he was here, he was supposed to do his PhD. Wallahi, one of the most amazing people I've ever met. His name is Muhammad, Abu Abdurrahman. Muhammad, his job in Medina Munawwara is a prosecutor. You know what prosecutor means? Prosecutor is like the general attorney, we call it in Arabic, they call it wakilu mahkamat, wakilu ahliya, something like this, right? So he's the wakil that actually sends people to see the qazi or not send them home. He says, I was in my office. He told me the story to this ear. It's not somebody told me that he told them. No, this is direct. The sanad of this narration is strong. He's telling me that he was in his office. And do I finish the khutbah now? Should I continue to talk? It doesn't go over my time. Please forgive me. We'll make namaz short. Anyways, very deep story. He tells me, I'm in my office and I get a case. They bring him, one bunch of papers. He put him in his desk, and they bring someone with handcuffs, like this. Sit down, like this. In Medina Munawwara. He told him, okay, what's wrong with this guy? He says, oh, this guy is a drug dealer. He's selling drugs. Where? In Medina Munawwara. Medina to Rasulullah, they're selling drugs. Hey, look. You know what the punishment for drug dealing in Saudi Arabia? Death sentence, just like China and other countries. They will kill him. He told him, what? Why? You're selling drugs in Medina to Rasulullah? You got angry. The man stood up with his handcuffs. He says, Wallahi al-Azim, I'm not a drug dealer. And he sat down. He said they have evidence and they have a video of him. Come here. What do you say about this video? You know what? A mukhbir is informant. Someone who works with the police but undercover. He says, look, he's giving you the money, you're giving him the bag and he has drugs and the officer caught you. You tell me you're not. Why? He got up. Wallahi al-azim, I'm not a drug dealer. And he sits down. He kept saying, he does not want to say anything. Look, we have video of you. We have witnesses. We have everything. He says, look, I'm not going to waste my time with you. Take him downstairs to jail. Tomorrow's going to send me to the qazi and then that's it. While he's leaving, Wallahi al-azim, I'm not a drug dealer. This officer, Muhammad, Abu Abdurrahman, he tells me, I go to my house. I have dinner with my children. I go to sleep. I'm in sleep. He says, Wallahi, once somebody comes to me in my dream, in my ru'ya, he says, get up and read the case of so-and-so. You have to read it again. I said, SubhanAllah, am I dreaming? I go back to sleep. He says, get up and read that case. Read the qaziyah, read it. I go tomorrow to my office next day. I open and I start reading. Look, they have witnesses, they have video. This cannot be. He says, the 7 nights, I go to sleep, wake up and read the qaziyah. He says, I brought it with me home. He says, the next day, I called all my colleagues, all the wakil, come here, read this for me. They read it. Come on, man, this is a done deal. Don't waste my time. The other guy, don't waste my time. It's a done deal. Send him to the qazi, to the mahkamah. That's it, we're done. We're not going to be wasting time. The 3rd night, read the qaziyah. 3 nights, he's seeing it. He said, instead of investigating the criminal, I started investigating the officer. And when I investigated the officer, I started investigating the mukhbir, the guy undercover who did the qaziyah. He says, I wanted to talk to him, but he had protection status. I had to go to higher levels, all the way to the wazir, to give me permission to speak to that man. When I sat down with him and I looked in his eyes, something was wrong. He says, I did a background check on him. The mujrim, the criminal, is in jail. All he does, dua, Allahu Akbar, dua. Hey, come here. Wallah, I'm not a drug dealer. Now, investigating the other guy, he said 16 years earlier, he was in the army. Now, those of you who know Middle Eastern culture, you have one immigrant, by the way, that guy in the headcast, he was an Afghani immigrant. Afghan immigrant. Do you have huquq like someone who was in the army? Who they going to listen to, ya Muslim? They're going to listen to the immigrant or to the guy from the army? In my country, it's obvious. Jeez. I started investigating him. I started putting pressure on him. Something did not match up. One day he had some drugs with him a long time ago before he became working with the government. And he started investigating. I put him there 4 hours, 6 hours, until the guy couldn't, until he cracked. He says, I hate that guy. Why you hate him? He says, 10 years ago, I used to live in that building. He used to be like the janitor who takes care of the building. He collects rents and everything. And he said, I had a lot of problems with him. And he kicked me out 10 years ago. And I had this, like I have this greed, this grudge against him. 10 years ago, I said, one day I will destroy him. And 10 years later, he was working there and he was selling dollars, exchanging euros. He's like trading. I saw him trading currency. And I went and I told him, hey, I want to buy some dollars from you. And underneath the dollars, I put some hashish. You know hashish, kushkash? Drugs. I put some hashish there and I had it filmed and they caught him. And that's what I wanted to take intiqam, like revenge. Now the case is solved. He told him, okay, now they're gonna do a separate case for this guy for false allegation. Now they brought the guy from the basement, come here, from jail, from the cell. They brought him up and he sits down. Come here, sit down. How are you? Wallahi al-azim, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm asking you, how are you? I'm good, alhamdulillah. He said, remove his handcuffs. Are you Hafiz Quran? No, I know a little bit. Are you some special Sheikh? Or you have some relation with Allah that 3 nights I'm seeing in the dream that I have to read your case until I found the truth? No. I'm just a common person. I do my namaz, I go to Hajj when I can, and that's it. Say, but why? There is something about you that caused me to do all this investigation that Allah wanted to prove you innocent. Why? He said, since the day you put handcuffs in my hands, 40 people, 40 people from my family, men, women, children, old and young, all of them went i'tikaf in Masjid Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says, Ya Allah, bring the truth. That dua of those children brought the truth. The sincerity of the dua. For those of us who stand in the back and go like this, when you make dua, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Ad-du'a silahul mu'min." Dua is the weapon of the Muslim. Don't underestimate the dua, whether it's for your children, for your health, and for your future, especially for your kids. Never be angry and say bad dua against them. Never be angry with them. Whatever your children do, always make a nice, gentle dua for them. If they do whatever, say, Allah give you hidayat. But don't say something evil, because if Allah answers that dua and He said something bad to your kid might be hurt and you will be hurt more than that. So, ya Muslim, let us recoup in terms of the amanat or the ikhlas or the trust that Allah entrusted within this Islam, so that when we pray from the heart. When we give sadaqah from the heart. And we make dua from the heart. Allahumma arzuqna qalban hayyan يعبدك يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم نقي قلوبنا من النفاق والخطايا يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم نقي قلوبنا من النفاق والرياء والسحب بالسمعة يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات الاحياء منهم والاموات. اللهم انك كريم مجيب الدعوات. اللهم اغفر لنا ولامهاتنا وابائنا يا ارحم الراحمين ومشايخنا ومعلمينا يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر الاسلام واعز المسلمين وارفع بقوتك كلمتي الحق والدين يا ارحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم رد امه محمد الى دينك مردا جميلا. اللهم لم شملها يا ارحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارحمنا فوق الارض. اللهم ارحمنا تحت الارض. اللهم ارحمنا يوم العرض عليك. عباد الله ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ابراهيم في العالمين انك حميد مجيد. قوموا الى صلاتكم.